Because
Thomas, thank you for the $30 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. Let's get at least 300 W's for Thomas in the chat. Thank you for the $30.
It's just like any war.
You could have said the same thing about disputes in the past that have existed that have had a resolvement, right? You understand that what would resolve this is literally the recognition of a Palestinian state.
But they're not going to give up their land.
What do you mean give
Israel
up?
won't give up their land.
Give up? You mean the land they took from Palestinians? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Point being is
what are you talking about?
Wait, you understand that we were also actually allied with Kurdistan. So it's, the Turkish-Kurdish war that begun in 2019. That's because he abandoned our Kurdish allies, leading them to be which led them to be like forced to flee or die, and that also sparked the Turkish-Kurdish war. And then he also said that our troops in northern Syria would quote unquote step aside, right, causing tens of thousands of Syrians and tens of thousands of Kurdish individuals to flee or die. That caused Russian troops to be fighting American troops, boots on the ground in Syria in a proxy war, all right, and the Turkish-Kurdish war as well.
Personally, I don't know anything about the Turkish-Kurdish war. I really don't.
Then also the argument here that supporting Israel is supporting an ally, you could call them an ally that's still increasing global tensions. Like saying that Israel should like fucking kill and massacre everyone is like increasing global tensions, okay? That's undeniable. You cannot contest that giving more money and ammunition for Israel to kill and massacre more people is going to increase global tensions compared to advocating for a ceasefire agreement.
Okay, well, we're just going to have to agree to disagree on it because...
You're so delusional.
Okay. I might be delusional, but then I'm going to believe that you're delusional as well on your end.
Wait, so you're saying that killing and massacring more people is going to be better for global tensions than a ceasefire?
No, that's not what I said at all.
Okay, so a ceasefire is better for global tensions. So you concede and agree.
Okay, whatever. Second of all, right? The southern border and border security in general is why I'm going to be voting for Trump.
Even though he called for people in Congress to undermine the bipartisan border bill.
You're right. He did, and and that is a Democratic talking point. It is, and I will absolutely.
Yeah. And so, what's your response to the talking point,
Parker? And I will absolutely agree and concede on that because guess what? It's politics, and Trump needed something to run on. Needed another issue to run on in the 2024 election. He did. So I will absolutely agree and concede to that.
So Donald Trump cared more about using it to run an election on it than he actually cared about fixing the issue.
Yeah, doesn't this also show that he stands for self-service compared to public service? Like, in accordance with what Donald Trump believes in, he thinks that like a bad southern border leads to like American women getting raped, leads to like higher rates of crime, leads to like a worse economy, it leads to like all these like very negative outcomes. Like according to him, it literally leads to like our animals being eaten or pets being slaughtered, right? And if like that worldview was true and he shot down this bill because it made the Democrats look good, you're literally saying that Donald Trump is so like psychotic and insane that he's willing to let people get raped and like murdered if it means it will slightly increase his chance of winning re-election. Are you sure you want to support that guy?
Yeah. Yeah. So point being, right? And how can you argue, right?
Holy shit.
Hold on a second. How can you even argue that the southern border specifically was or is in much better shape?
Well, I'm going to repeat what I just said because I want to make sure
the Biden-Harris administration or Kamala Harris.
I'm going to go to repeat what I just said. I want to make sure that you gave the right answer. So you agree that Donald Trump wants more people to get raped, wants more people to get murdered, if it means it'll marginally increase his chance at winning re-election?
No.
Okay, but that's what happened in accordance with his worldview by torpedoing that bipartisan border bill. Okay, because remember how Donald Trump talks about how bad migrants that come into our country are? He says like they're poisoning the blood of our country, raping our women, like killing our children, eating our dogs and cats, like all that shit. I mean, if that was all true, and he torpedoed a bill to reduce the impact of that, he's literally saying I want all these things to continue happening to a greater degree than they could if this bill was passed, if it means more people will vote for me.
Okay. whatever. But the
So,
fact
so
of
then,
the-
so then you agree
fact
that
of the
Donald
matter
Trump wants more
is-
people to die and get raped if it means it'll increase his chance of winning re-election.
the fact of the matter
No,
is
Dallas, I'm not going to let you get off on this.
No.
I'm not going to let you get off on this. You're going to
'cause
answer the damn
I'm
question.
trying to get to my point, but you keep talking over me.
No, you're not getting to your point. I want you to
regardless of the
answer my
fact that
question.
regardless of the fact that the border bill was canned, right? It was canned. Trump fucked up. Cool, whatever, great. You cannot argue.
No.
that
Answer
the
my
border
goddamn
is
question. You're
better
pivoting.
Under the Kamala,
Okay,
under the Kamala Harris
Dallas. I'm going to make this very clear. We can have that conversation next. We're not there yet. You will directly respond to my question, or you will get kicked. I don't allow people to pivot on my platform. You said that Donald Trump did torpedo a bill that would have reduced the impact of the crisis for political purposes to increase his chance of winning re-election in November. You probably also agree with Donald Trump when he says migrants are poisoning the blood of our country, raping our women, committing violent crimes, killing our children, and eating our dogs and cats. So if he shot down a bill that would have reduced the impact of the crisis, and the crisis contains people that are raping women, killing children, and eating dogs and cats, all to increase his chance of winning re-election, that means he wants women to continue to get raped at higher degrees, he wants children to continue to get murdered at higher degrees, and he wants animals to continue to get eaten to higher degrees, if it means more people will vote for him in November. So do you think that that's what Donald Trump is doing? I accidentally muted your mic, Parker. I clicked on his account. TikTok.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so please respond to that directly. I don't want you to pivot.
No, I do not truly believe that that's what he is trying to do or that's what he wants to do.
Okay, so
It
where's
might
the
be
discrepancy?
a result of what he did, but I do not believe that's what he's trying to do.
So then why did he torpedo the bill?
I already said that, and I agreed with the fact that he torpedoed it because he needed something to run on.
He
He just needed another.
But what is he
topic
running
to
on?
run on.
But he's running on the crisis. And the crisis is bad because according to him it's killing children and raping women.
Right, but I don't.
So he's running
so-
on more children getting killed and more women getting raped.
So that is a product of probably the border bill getting canned by Republicans, not getting canned by
Actually,
Trump, but getting canned by
apparently,
Republicans.
apparently, border crossings are lower now than any point under Trump's.
Yeah, you cannot take something that happened within the last. I'll be generous and say 6 months when they are higher than they ever were.
The title is border
Under
arrests
any president.
drop 33% to a 46-month low in July after asylum restrictions take hold. That's the title from AP News.
And when was this article published?
This article was published August 16th.
Cody, thanks for the $1 on PayPal.
So
I
this
just can't,
was
Dallas, I can't do it with how
That
disingenuous
was even
you
2
are.
months ago.
Dallas, I can't do it with how disingenuous you are.
But
like
the
if like
fact-
Joe
but the
if
fact
Joe
of the
Biden
matter-
one moment, if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris like shot down really good policy that would have like helped America because it would have increased their chance at winning re-election, like you'd be over here like going insane. Right?
No, I wouldn't. I'm. The fact of the matter is that whether border crossings are at their lowest
so
point
disingenuous.
now
You
does
still
not.
won't engage with the point. Whatever.
No, I'm
We can move
engaging
on.
with your point. I'm absolutely engaging with your point. The fact.
No,
that
my
I'm
point has
trying
had
to have-
nothing to do with
I
the
am
f***ing
trying
amount
to
of
have
crossings
a
under Biden.
full-blown,
One second.
legitimate
The
conversation.
point has had nothing to f***ing do with border crossings under Donald Trump's presidency compared to Biden and Harris's presidency. The point has had to do with you think that Donald Trump didn't let this legislation pass because he wanted to campaign on it. But this legislation not passing preluded to more women like and children dying and getting raped and that means that Donald Trump is centered around self-service, not public service, and he wants America to crumble if it means it'll increase his chance at winning re-election. Big time. I appreciate you for the galaxy.
Can you hear me?
That's the last time I'm going to say that. I'll stop being so impertinent about it.
Thank you so much.
I'll shut up and take a back seat. But I just wanted it to be known to you, Parker, and the other 10,000 people watching. The one point that you just won't address, that you seemingly can't comprehend, even though it's so damn clear. You know, like I have a deck of cards in my hand. I feel like I'm like holding up a card to you. I'm like, oh, this is the 2 of hearts. Then you're like, no, that's not the 2 of hearts. That's anything but the 2 of hearts. How could it possibly be the, like the point is, I'm giving you such a crystal clear point that couldn't be any clearer. And you're just like denying it.
So I will I will look up that AP News article here, whether when it's this live ends or otherwise. If it shows that Trump's that border crossings are at their lowest point ever since Donald Trump took office. However, I will look it up. I will, I'll look it up because I like to have an objective view, right? And I also like to have a legitimate conversation with people.
That wasn't my point.
But it was Parker's point.
Right. Go ahead.
What point?
Oh.
That your point that border crossings are the lowest they've ever been now under the Kamala Harris administration than they were since
46
Biden
month
and Harris took office.
46 month low.
46-month low. But how do you explain the fact that they were double, if not triple, the rate that they ever were when Donald Trump was in office, even when Obama was way higher than when Obama was in office? And those are numbers that are supported by the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, and that's directly from AP News.
So are you saying that Obama was better at the border than Trump?
No, because Trump's border numbers were lower under Biden. Were lower than. Excuse me.
Wait, you just said that they were higher.
Trump's border numbers were lower under Obama.
So if they were okay, so if Trump's were lower than Obama, that means both Obama and Obama and Trump would have lower higher border crossings than Biden still. I don't know what you're trying to say.
No, because if you look at the chart, multiple charts, you can just Google immigration.
What chart?
You can Google illegal immigration chart, and it'll pop up.
That's exactly what I'm referencing. Again, I told you.
But if you
this is from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
Illegal immigration chart.
This is from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, right? I'm just telling you that the data from them shows a 44 month low. That's what I'm demonstrating.
There's no way it's that low because if you Google,
he's just not accepting it. This is
no,
from Customs.
because
this is from Customs and Border Protection.
I'm looking at AP News, and it says, and this is an article on the Associated Press that says Trump was addressing a crowd in Butler about illegal immigration and reviewing the chart.
No. The title of the AP News article is border cross arrests dropped 33% to a 46-month low in July after asylum restrictions take hold. That's the title.
Hold on a second. What is it again?
Border arrests dropped 33% to a 46-month low in July after asylum restrictions take hold.
Those are arrests. Those aren't illegal crossings. We're talking about
it references crossing.
Okay, border arrests.
Yeah.
Drop to 46-month low.
33% to 46-month low in July after asylum restrictions take hold.
Hold on, I'm pulling up the article.
Yo, Biden actually told Iran today that assassinating Trump would be an act of war.
Did he?
Wow.
Good for him. Good for him. There it is.
Everyone do tap that screen. Let's get to 3 million likes. Share the live as well. Everyone, it will help get it out to more people. Yeah, well, I already told it. He's going to just keep looking this up. He's going to find it, and then he's going to make up some excuse. So.
I'm just done. I made my point so clearly, and he still hasn't addressed it. In fact, I even went on like a 45-second speech about how he specifically wasn't addressing my point, reiterated the point.
And then he didn't address it.
and then he just ignored it all. I think that it's either like that Dallas is just being disingenuous because he's on live in front of 10,000 people, and there's pressures to not admit when you're wrong in that scenario because you don't want to feel embarrassed in front of so many people, right? Or there's just like an absolute lack of like critical thought. Like it's one of the two. I'd shoot for the latter. Emma, thank you so much for the $10 donation on PayPal. I really appreciate you. It is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much, Emma. Let's get some W's for Emma down below in that chat. I really appreciate you. And Adam, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo saying that you are MAGA and that you don't claim Dallas. That's funny. That's funny. So Dallas, we're going to go ahead and give you about 20, 30 more seconds to look up whatever you're doing before we just move on to the next guest. Because honestly,
so I just pulled up Parker's article. It says the Border Patrol made 56,408 arrests last month, down from 83,536 arrests in June, according to U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. Asylum was halted at the border June 5th because arrests for illegal crossings topped a threshold of 2,500 a day through lack of deportation flights that prevent authorities from turning away everyone. U.S. authorities say arrests dropped 55% after the measure. Okay, great. So you guys want to take credit for border crossings in 1 month as opposed to border crossings over the last 4 years.
well, the reason that border crossings have been like high under Biden-Harris administration was because of like the expiration of Title 42 is natural, normal, and expected. Like treat like the border like a river, treat Title 42 like a dam. When the dam gets lifted out of the river, when Title 42 expires, you have a massive upsurge in the amount of people entering into the country, either through legal or like undocumented means. And the reason that is because of the backlog that's created by Title 42, and then the like socioeconomic disparities that were onset in Southern Latin American countries by COVID. So the way that we should be evaluating their like efficacy or responsibility for the crisis is by how they responded to it. They first responded to it by drafting bipartisan legislation in Congress for the border, something Trump was never able to do, by the way. But Trump, shot that down, as we already talked about. And then once Trump shot that down, they implemented an executive order that has now led to the results that you were discussing today with Parker. So overall, I don't think that you could sit here and say that they could or should have done anything else. I think that they gave it literally the best response that they could have. In fact, they managed the border better than Trump did under his term, and I 110% believe that.
Well, I am going to just have to disagree with that, and that's based on my research from the Associated Press, which is neutral, as you know.
So what bipartisan legislation for the border was he able to influence through Congress?
Well, I don't have anything pulled up and ready to go.
It's because he didn't. Like the crossings increased under his admin year by year, right, until COVID hit, and he was able to implement Title 42. Crossings under Biden and Harris have effectively fallen with their executive order, and it would have fallen earlier with their policy. And Erica, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. Massive W's for Erica in the chat. And Catherine, thank you for the $5 on PayPal as well. Thank you, Erica and Catherine.
Well, hey, agree to disagree.
On what? You're so I hate you. I do. It's a big word. It's a very strong word. I know. I do. I let it slip. You're terrible.
Hey, if you hate me, then I hate you. At least I'd come on here and have a little bit of a conversation, but I feel like we got nowhere because that's just what this platform does. I start to make a point, you mute me. That's just how it is. If we were in person and you couldn't mute me,
you just said
and
agree
maybe
to
that is what it
disagree.
is, but
You just pulled the agree to disagree card.
yeah, because no matter what I say to you, or actually no, because I did get a point through to you, and that was on the nuclear deal with Kim Jong Un. So
Emma, thank you for
at least I made some
$10. Thank you,
inroads.
Emma.
So you guys have a good one. I am going to hop off here and make room for somebody else. Hopefully that person can have a genuine conversation and not yell into their microphone with you.
Have a good one. Yo, Parker, did you want to go live here sometime soon?
Yeah, I probably will here in a bit.
Bet.